Oh, this is so fun. I get to respond to the big fuck you. Hi, the big fuck you. Interesting thing. All right, I'll tell you. First of all, really, the reason why I didn't respond to any comments is because, for the first 2 years, I could not afford to look at any comments. Because God forbid, because the first comment I looked at 3 years ago set me off into a tailspin. It sounded like my mother. It was condescending, and it didn't affect my belief system, but myself. Just like neither did fuck yous. However, I just didn't need it. I'm like, my God, imagine if I get 100 of those. Even if there's 200 positive comments, if there's 100 negative, and I was attempting to recover, uh, wasn't going to happen, or it would have been a lot harder. Another thing that's very hard to understand, I comprehend, is that the complexity of replying and dealing with comments has actually been too much for me, even as a programmer. It's it's even it's a pain in the fucking ass. The internet is a pain in the ass. That's why most of the time I just upload a video and I watch videos. Once I start dealing with the video manager and the statistics and the AdSense and all that data, I did that for so many years that I just did not want to touch it. I just did not want to touch it with rating comments and up commenting and banning people if they're going to be trolls. I just decided, just to let it be because, well, I didn't decide let it be. I tried and it was just overwhelming. Uh, I'm only going to try now again. It's so funny that the first comment I got was almost like the comment I got today was almost like the first comment, condescending. And I expected a lot of that because, especially if I put tags about narcissism and psychopaths, I put the word psychopaths. And I have a million teenagers trying to tell me that my father, who was a predatory fucking pedophile against his own children, is not a psychopath or something. They're going to try to tell me that. Whereas every bit of research I did, including his criminal, what do you call his criminal fucking record package, indicated psychopaths. So, if there's some kind of arguments you don't want to get into, it's kind of like someone's calling me narcissistic today because I wasn't responding. And, it doesn't affect me because I know I'm not narcissistic because I wasn't responding. I know why I wasn't responding. I could not handle it. It's been a heavy trauma, and I didn't want to get any negatives. And I didn't want to hear my family. I wasn't sure if my family was responding. I just didn't want to deal with it. Until I was able to. But here's something else that goes a little deeper. I did realize something during my recovery. And this totally, you're right, the big fuck you. You're 100% right. I realized that growing up, whenever I asked my parents how they were doing, whenever I wanted to engage, they wouldn't engage. My parents and a lot of girlfriends, when I look back at my relationships mostly have been people who have been very manipulative. So they have not been the kind of people to offer up their days. It's always been me. And this goes back way to my childhood. If I'd asked my father what he did, he'd say, nothing, it was a good day. If I asked my mother, nothing, right? Because they were both doing things that they were hiding. If I pressed, I remember a few times I would push them and my mother would get all nervous and just, say something rude and just shut me down. My girlfriends, man, when I think about the girlfriends I had, when I was younger, I had good girlfriends. I can think back, my first one up till about 22. My parents left when I was 20. And then I started to be with girls who were they were like my mother. Most of them ended up being sex workers, covertly. So those girls also, I'd get home and they'd only want, my last girlfriend, the psychopath. I would just talk about my day. And I'd ask her what she would do and she would say nothing. Yeah, because she was hiding her reality. So you do have a very good point that my default is not from a narcissistic perspective, because, I listen mostly when I'm with people who I know, and I'm sitting when I'm actually with somebody that you know, I'm, I'm very interactive. But by default, I've noticed that I'm the one who talks. I'm the one. It's not because I want to be the one. I go to other channels to listen to other people talk, but even now, I can't find other people talking like me. I find everyone trying to be like something they're not. And this is my problem. Send me to 100 channels. I like Be Good. But even Be Good, he doesn't want to show his face, man. You know what I mean? Like, Be Good has the best content. If Be Good was like me and went in front of the camera and spoke, well then, that's an honest guy talking from his heart about his experiences. It's really rare. I have maybe 10 people who I watch like that. And it's really rare because they probably get clobbered with negative comments attacking their personal lives. Which is why I've been planning to move on to my next channel, there'll be a little bit of distance from my personal life. I'll reference it, but it won't be the main topic of that's the whole thing. I've wanted to get out of this narcissistic concept of channel to move to a more channel on general deviance and general circumstance and general trauma and general tragedy. But this fucking YouTube has been keeping me scared about it, and also my mindset. But look, I apologize. You're right, the big fuck you. So fuck you and fuck me too. I'm gonna now answer all my comments every day because, I'm there. It's been 3 years, and I got rid of those Seroquel, and I'll tell you something. I feel much better today. I think those things have been massacring my brain. I know that you once referred that I should try something, and I tried it. It's not like I haven't always been reading the comments, but I haven't had the mindset, I think I have the mindset now. I just dragged in a studio, so I'll be able to record at night and talk all night, because I really want to do an all night. I want to do a nightly show. So, but really, this video was to, the most important part of this video, the big fuck you, is to confirm what you said, because I did notice that I'm always talking about my life. It doesn't matter. I ask people about their lives. And some of them will confess to me, I don't like talking about my life. My parents didn't talk about their lives. My brother talked about his life. My brother and I had a good interactive relationship. But I think I attracted a lot of people who would just want to listen for whatever reason. Whether they were the more shy people or they just... well, really, I think a lot of it, it's not shyness, they were just hiding who they were. Unfortunately. I have a lot of stories I haven't discussed, and I would love to talk about them, but that would be narcissistic. That's why I didn't write my book. If I told you guys I thought about doing it. I thought about, instead of writing my book, doing one video of 10 minutes each on every one of this. There's so much I didn't tell you, people. There's so much I didn't tell you. Not only about my parents, but close calls with death and sick things that I did in my earlier years when I was a teenager, when I was absolutely a troubled kid and I didn't even know until recently, looking back. But how many times the police were involved and stuff I got away with, and I just never really touched upon it because that would be extremely narcissistic, because you wouldn't like me as much. Anyways, look, I'm gonna do my best. All right, I got off those Seroquel. They're in the garbage. They're gone. I don't miss them. Was that ever funny? Today was the first day I woke up and I said, you know what? I'm ready to handle the comments. And the first one is from the big fuck you, telling me to fuck you, you narcissistic prick. That was classic. But that's why I waited. That's why I waited. I apologize. I'm going to go read the other ones, okay? I guess everyone will be like that.